Right then, my season 4 wrap up summary video that I'll do at the end of every season. So those that have been following the series will know the aim of the series is to get to Man United and make them great again. That means winning the treble again with them. In between then, I can do anything I need to do to get there on. Currently, we are at Betis. We decided to stay at Betis. A couple of reasons being they agreed to give me another badge and was also in the second best league in the world, and we were the third best team within that division. So really hard to decide to go anywhere else, really, given kind of where we sit reputationally as well. So we stayed, and this is how the season went. So, oh, and also we didn't want to not be playing Champions League football. Obviously, the whole goal is to win the treble again, and Man United obviously will want to win the Champions League. So here we are anyway. So let's, as we always start with transfers, we start with the summer transfers. So we're going to talk about what we did out first, and we got rid of Luis Enrique. For anyone that has followed the series will know, actually, we didn't play him a lot at the start of this season, but towards the end of the season, we had to play him quite a lot, and he really, really started to play well. He ended up playing 22, scored 13 for us, actually saved us in an injury crisis, and when the board took that 29 million away from us, stopping us being able to make our signings, it was huge. Absolutely huge. We got rid of Toro. Again, anyone that followed, I like a young squad, so we get rid of some of the older wood. We got rid of Toro. We sold him, I think, for a bargain of a 4.6, and we got his wage off as well, so that was good. I'm not going to pronounce the name, but we need to get rid of the goalkeeper. He was on a decent wage, and we weren't playing him. We also got rid of one of the older centre backs, Magnani. You can't see it because he's gone to coach, but he was okay, but he was very much like a 4th, 5th string player for us. We then got rid of our mainstay goalkeeper, Rui Silva, who was actually unbelievable for us last season. But at 32, we have to start thinking to the future. We also got rid of one of our star centre backs of the season, which is Kevin Schottlebeck. Again, it was decent on a lot of salary, but on the older side, and I like to keep my team as young as possible and as lean as possible. So those are the signings out. We also sent Sebastian Rico out on a loan. He's this 16-year-old kid that we've got at the team. He's 6'7" with really high potential abilities. So we want to get him playing rather than sitting on the bench. We're trying to develop him, and he did really well there. While he was there, wrong player. 1 second. While he was there, he actually scored 17 in 38, which isn't bad for a 16-year-old kid. So we'll take that. Players that we brought in Danny Rubello. Now, the reason why we brought Danny Rubello in as a cover goalkeeper is because he's been trained at Betis. So for Champions League, he helps us fill our squad out and meet certain criteria. So actually, although he might not be the best goalkeeper in the world, he's not the worst either. Former sub goalkeeper, but for depth for Champions League, he was worth his weight in gold. And what did we pay for him? 500k. He was worth every bit of that just for us to have a bit of depth in the squad. We then signed in Elia Capriel, and I cannot stress how much of a bargain this was. 4.8. He's now worth 29. But my God, he was fucking shit. He let in 65 goals in 53. He only kept 16 clean sheets. In all honesty, stay clear. I'm going to sell him this season if possible. I don't like him. We also brought in, I'm not going to try to say that, but we call him Illich. And what a young player he has been. What a great centre-back. He's made some good run. He can get forward. He gets back. He wins enough headers. Brilliant. At 6'4", got plenty of pace on him and all the technical and mental skills you could ask for. We then got Ishmael Decore, which we got for 3.2 million. And this guy was very much a bench player for us. But every time he came on, he more than stood up and was counted. As you can see, he only started 8 games and was sub 5, but average rating over 7, pretty decent. We then signed in a guy that we had on our other save on FM23. We had him at Marseille, Raul Torrente. Signed him in, and we didn't really know we was going to play him. It was more of a depth, so he could play centre back, he could play left wing back, he could play in the midfield. He could also play the holding man position for us. So he's a bit of a depth signing. We signed him for 19 million basically, and now we've finally settled on he's going to be playing this deep line playmaker role for us. Gives us a bit of height there. Got great passing ability, but he can also win the ball. He's done really good. Again, he's been mainly a sub for us, as you can see, 26 sub appearances, only 19 starts. But that might change next season, or we might sell him as he's 26, starting to get on. Can we cash in on him and then bring someone in better, younger, and cheaper, and less wage budget? We'll see. So that was all our signings. We didn't really. Then we normally talk about injuries, but in the first half of the season, we didn't actually get too many injuries, so we're not going to dwell on that. But we're going to watch the 3 games like we always do. We're going to start with a 5-0 against Leganes. I'm definitely pronouncing that incorrectly, but you get the picture. So we'll watch the goals, then we'll talk about the stats, and we'll, as we always do, go from there. It's Fresneda doing his usual thing, whips it in, shoulder up, lovely little header in, beautiful. Rodri gets it back, second cross, Sheldry, head save, slots in, pretty nice finish. I love a goldsmith for me. Woo, plays it to Fresneda, Fresneda whips it in, and there he is, the main man, Kiki Top, with a lovely clinical header. As always, we love whipping it in, on top of top. Get the goals in. That's 4. Here we go again. Who's going to head it? What's going to be the goal? Oh, Rodri top bins. Absolutely fucking insane finish that was by Rodri. So let's look at what we normally look at. We had 19 shots today, 7. We had 12 on target today, 2. And an XG of nearly 2. They just broke the half mark. They hit the woodwork. We apparently didn't. We had a high average rating, and they actually had more high intensity sprints. Oh, and possession we didn't cover, sorry. We had 70 to 30%. I would say we absolutely dominated them, because even we had 70% possession. 5-0, love it, love to see it. This game was a lot of fun. Fresneda got 3 assists, 4 key passes. It was nice, really nice game. So next we're going to go and watch a Champions League game. It's us against Bayer Leverkusen. And we beat them 4-2. So we're going to have a little look at this and see how it goes. So Miranda comes in, cuts back outside, slots it across. Somebody gets through to top. Top lays it to Kamiri. Kamiri slots it in. That's 1-0. And that's what we're talking about, the goalkeeper. What a fucking mistake that was for 1-1. Shoulder up, plays it back to Miranda. Miranda slips it in, and Top, as always, on his head. Can they bring it to 2-2? Of course they can, because my goalkeeper is fucking shit. Miranda swings it in. Oof! Off the goal! Can we get it in the net? Finally, we do, making it 3-2. Miranda's been in all over this game. Irakuna smashes it in to take it 4-2. I would argue that game should have been 4-0. The 2 goals I think they scored, maybe one was okay. The first one particularly was terrible. We had 17 shots to their 9, 10 on target to their 3, an XG of nearly 3. They didn't have an XG of 1. We hit the woodwork twice. 5 off half chances, possession 55 to 45. We look at average rating, we dominated them, and we had more high intensity sprints than them. I actually think the goal line was unfair. Like I said, I think they maybe should have only had 1 goal. I think our goals were quality. The second one maybe was okay, but that first one was awful, to be really frank with you. So next game we're going to go on to, we're going to watch Valencia, and it's a 2-2 draw. The reason I'm bringing up the Valencia were always a team that were kind of fighting to get into these third and fourth spots. So this early on, it was a really important game for us. We needed to win really to get a bit of separation. We didn't manage to win, so let's watch it, and then we'll look at the stats and see what I think, see what you guys think. So we're working out from the back here, which I really like to see. Some good one-touch football, lovely ball there. Top absolutely slots it, shows why he's top of the goal scoring table. Here we go. They bring it back to 1-1. How did they do it? One of these simple 1-2 really. Give and go. Nothing too fancy. Bit poor defending. What happens here? Kamiri out. Fresneda gets back in head. What's that? How many heads was that? Let's have a quick look at that again. Let's watch that again. So what was that? The second goal. Watch this. Let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads and a goal. We're the fucking best in the air. That's 2-1, right? How did I bring it back in the 89th minute? My goalkeeper's caught fucking sleeping. Absolute useless piss pot he is. So we had 9 to their 11 shots, but we had 5 on target to their 3. We had an XG of 1.40 and theirs was only 1. We hit the woodwork, they didn't. We dominated possession 60 to 40. Our average rating was higher than theirs. They had way more high intensity sprints than us, like way more. I actually, again, think the scoreline is slightly unfair. I think we probably should have won 2-1. That last goal, the goalkeeper letting in the 89th minute, was horrendous. But then I suppose you could argue the second goal we got with 6 headers or whatever it was a bit ridiculous. But what a goal, eh? So we have watched 3 matches that we always watch from the summer. And then we're going to talk about winter transfers. So in the winter, we didn't make many transfers. In fact, we only made 2. But before we talk about those, well, let's talk about those now. So we've been keeping an eye on Pekka for a little while. Big P, he's been nicknamed. He's a 6'6" centre back with 13 acceleration, 12 pace. There's a 16 marking, 17 tackling. Yes, his heading's not the best, but he's 6'6" and has a 16 jump reach. He's pretty solid. We signed him. He cost us 20 million in the end. And we've been playing him a lot, actually. We played him a lot. We look at him, he ended up playing 24 games. Considering he joined in January, remember, people, it means he's pretty much started every game he's been at the club. And he averaged a 7. He's done pretty well. I think he's probably going to be the best centre-back in the world. That's why we brought him in. He's developing really well. I'm really looking forward to see what he gets to. Then the only other sign we brought in is a guy that I just fucking love. We brought him for 9.5 mil. Bruno Zappelli, the Argentine Italian stallion. We brought him in to replace Kamiri. Kamiri lacked a little bit of passing ability. So we really had to work hard on bringing in someone who can get that done. So we've brought him in, and he's absolutely smashed it. He's really been that maestro in the middle for us. He's done really good. Again, was it 9.5 mil, worth 40 now? Really good player. So then we ended up selling some players, sorry. We got rid of Ndombele. Now, he was a very good player, but he was old, and we was paying him like 86,000 a week. So we got rid of him, and we weren't really starting him. So we wanted to get the wage budget low. I like to keep driving the wage budget down and the talent up. So we're doing that. We got rid of him. He went off to the Saudi leagues. Then we loaned a few youngsters out, as we spoke about earlier. Particularly Rico is the guy we want to do well. Some of these other guys are doing pretty good there. And then the only other loan we did out was this guy who's actually going to get sold at the end of the loan. He was just like a 4th string player that was hanging around from the club when I joined. That's all the transfers covered for the winter. just to talk about the injuries that we experienced. Nope. So the main injuries we really experienced during the winter was we had 3 left wing backs injured, I believe, at one point, and 2 right wing backs injured at one point. So it left us really struggling to fill the roles. We got through it to play some tough games with it, which was really hard. And as you can see here, display, look, left wing back, can play left wing back, left wing back. There's 3, right? And then we got 2 central midfielders for us and an if. So they're, probably worth noting. Quite a lot of days throughout the season. But we managed to get through it. We really worked on having a deeper squad this season. Even though we struggled a bit with it, we did get through it. So now we're going to go into some matches. The first match we're going to watch is it was the last game of the league phase in Champions League, and it's a 2-1 win against Borussia Dortmund. Yes, we beat Borussia Dortmund 2-1. So let's have a little look at that, and we'll look at the stats, see what you guys think tonight. So they obviously open. Oh, no, they did not. I thought they opened up. Mancuno, great interception, plays and a great through ball to Lopez. That was unreal by Mancuno, to be honest. Lovely over top ball. I don't know what Vaughan Davis is doing there. Taylor just absolutely slotting home. 1-1. Mancuno slots it to Lopez. Lopez off the bar. Sheldrick finishing it up, taking us 2-1 to win the game. So we had, by the way, that Vaughan Davis who let that goal go over him was a 16-year-old kid in our team that we're trying to build up. Matched shots 11-11. They had 1 more on target than us. We had slightly more XG. We hit the woodwork twice. We had more possession than them. They had 1 more half-cut chances. We had a slightly better average rating, and they had slightly more intensive sprints. Overall, I would say I think the result was fair. The goal they got was due to us having to play a young lad. Where is he? Vaughan Davis. And him getting exposed at 16 against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. What do you do against that? It is what it is. Next game we're going to talk about is the last leg of the last round of 16 Champions League against Benfica. We won 2-0 at home, away at their ground. We was coming into our ground feeling confident. The chat thought we was going to lose 4-1, but I was still confident. I actually called 3-2, I believe. And this is the game. Have a little look. So I know there's an extra special goal in this one. So Pelly whips it in, heads it out. Geeky top with the overhead. Fucking what a goal. Miranda, what are you going to do with this boy? Cuts in, slots it home. That was absolute brilliant from the left back there. So we're 2-0 up. What will happen here? Lovely through ball. I don't know what happened. That just cut our defence in half. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're 2-1 up. What's going on here? Lovely bit of one-touch football. Keeps, just sits down, doesn't even go for the ball. That's 2-2. Interception to Rodri. What's Rodri going to do? Pulls it to top, and top finishes off with 2 to take it to 3-2. Beautiful. So we had 22 shots to their 8. We had 9 on target to their 6. We had an XG of 3 to their 114. They hit the woodwork twice. We had possession of 65 to 35. We also had a much higher average rating and much more intensive sprints. Do I think the score was fair? I personally don't. I just think it was 2 brilliant passes that just cut us open. We've got the dub. That's all that matters, right? Some absolute brilliant goal by Kiki Top. So next, the last match we're going to look at is so we made it all the way through to the Champions League semis. We beat Benfica, right? Beat Benfica. We beat Milan. Then we've got City. We drew City in semi-finals. We beat them 1-1 at home. So there's a glimmer of a chance. If we could nick a 1-0 or a 2-1, we could do this. Anyway, going into it, thinking we're probably going to lose. And the game ended up 5-3. And we're going to talk, we're going to watch it, and we're going to look through it, and we'll talk about it. A lot of goals in this game, a lot of goals. So we open up the serving. Kiki top showing he can get assists as well as goals. Lopez, lovely header. That can be a bit of a trademark for Lopez. We'll take 1-0. Jude Bellingham, Bernardo Silva with a lovely over top ball. And the man, the freak, Haaland scores. That's all he does, get them goals. Just 1-1. Jude Bellingham doing Jude Bellingham things. Foden, Bernardo Silva slots in. 2-1 to them. Lopez. What is this? What is this? What is this match engine? Explain. Have you ever seen such a fucking ridiculous goal in all your life? Is that 3-2 to them? Jude Bellingham. Is that 4-2 to them? I think that's 4-2, isn't it? Jude Bellingham swings one in. That's 5-2, I believe. Anyway, we made to the Hutchinson from Chelsea who signed. Slots the ball in. Lopez. We have a glimmer of hope. Sorry, that was 2. Here's the third goal. Bit of a lucky goal. Haaland home goal. 5-3. Now, let's not talk about that fucking ridiculous second goal by Haaland. Stupid. So, we had 21 shots to their 12. 10 on target to their 7. An XG of nearly 3. They nearly had 2. We both hit the woodwork. We both had the same clear cut and clear cut. We had 6 half chances. They had more possession than us. We had way more corners, way more average rating. They beat us, and we did way more high intensity spins. Sprints, not spins. Do I think the result was fair? I don't actually. I think they got very lucky with that one goal, obviously, which would take it to 4-3. Could have swallowed a 4-3? Probably. But I think we did a great job to score 3 against them at the Etihad. Overall, And we got Champions League final. Made them work for it. To Champions League semi-final, sorry, made them work for it. And City didn't win. PSG went on to win Champions League. So that's the end of the matches. So then what I wanted to do is talk about the transfers that we've already got agreed that are going to happen, obviously, when the window opens. The first one that we made was Liu Jiahong from Beijing. We signed him for 3 million. He's a youngster. We signed him initially. We were thinking about retraining him as a left back, even though he doesn't have, not as a wing back, even though he lacks a bit of positioning. He's got really high potential, but what we'll probably do is get him a good loan. And then when his value shoots up, sell him for profit is probably what we'll end up doing with him, unfortunately. Now we've got Brown. Everyone knows I love to sign me a South African. This is the latest South African that we signed. And also, just a little keys. One thing I always say is when you sign in South African, 500,000 is a key number. And he was 500,000. So he was, how old is he? He's 18. He's a defensive midfielder. He's 5'11". Look at those physicals, mentals, and technical skills there. 15 heading, 16 passing, 15 technique. He's got 17 determination, 17 bravery, 18 aggression, 16 acceleration, 15 agility. He's both-footed essentially. I think he's going to be a brilliant kid, and for more than anything, he's going to be a huge profit made in him. So then the next one we brought in was Marko Vidovic. We got him for 4.4. Again, huge potential. We brought him in because we're going to sell Kumbedi because he can play both wing-back positions and he's strong on both feet. So we're going to play him. He's going to be our main sub for the wing-back position, and we'll bring him on every opportunity that we get to develop him. Again, I think for 4.4 million, he's going to be insanely good. He's got great acceleration, great balance, great natural fitness. He can anticipate. He's brave. He's determined. He's got good teamwork. Got great technique. I think he's got everything we need in a wing back. I'm really excited to see how he develops. And then the last but not least is Kumara. We signed from Sydney, an Aussie lad. So he's 20, which is obviously very young for a goalkeeper. He's only 6'1", which is a bit short in my opinion for a goalie, but we'll take him. His technical abilities are pretty good. Like 13 aerial, 15 for communication, command of area, one-on-ones and reflexes. He's also got 15 teamwork. You know, I think he's got the makings of a really, really solid goalie. So the aim is to bring him in. To be honest, I might even try him out a game or two at the one spot and see how we get on. Because as we know, game time is key to development of players. So that's all the transfers that are happening and have been arranged to happen. So thoughts on the season, I think overall we did really well. To get third again, we were predicted 10th again by the media. We secured 10th at third. Sorry, I'd never really felt like we was going to lose the third spot, even though we only secured by 1 point. Never felt like it was going. Kiki top with the top goal scorer, which we love getting golden boot. I got manager of the year, which is worth just showing to you guys. Manager of the year. So we got manager of the year. It's also worth noting that we are now the team that scored the most goals in a season in Champions League, which is a pretty good record to have. I think we'd agree with that. We also had some other awards. Kiki Top won some awards. Let's just have a quick look. Kiki Top got top goal scorer. Obviously, he was the Champions League forward of the season runner-up, so he's behind Haaland. Young player of the season in the Champions League. Golden Boot runner-up as well. And actually, I don't remember. So let's have a little look at this. Let's have a little look at the best 11. I don't know if who else has been inducted. So yeah, Fresnade's been inducted. Oleman's been inducted. Alexander's been inducted. Kiki was already inducted. Our goalie's been inducted. Kamiri's been inducted. So a lot of our signings have been inducted. Again, across these four here are all signings that we made. Kiki, obviously. So really good. I think we did really well. I was really happy with the run in Champions League. Gutted that we went out in the way that we did. Really happy with the run. Getting above third is going to be really, really hard with Madrid and Barca. Maybe nick a second, maybe. I can't see us nicking first. It means we need both teams to not perform as best, or we need to go flawless, which is pretty tough. I suppose next steps we're going to talk about now is, well, the aim is to get to United, right, and win the treble again, and that's safe done. We are, like we said at the start of the video, we are in the second best league in the world, and we're the third best team in the league. So it's really hard to find somewhere to go. We did try and apply for the Brighton job, but they didn't allow us to apply for it for some reason. I think they'd already accepted. And we also wanted to apply for the Newcastle job, but we missed that window too. The Newcastle job was super interesting because obviously they're not a rival of Man United, but also they've got a lot of money and it's obviously a much bigger club than Betis. And I think it would be a great stepping stone towards that United job. It would have been phenomenal, but for whatever reason we couldn't get it. So for now we're gonna stay, finish the course that we're doing, the badge. It should be over in a month or so. We'll keep an eye on the jobs market. If anything good comes up, we might take it, but it's got to be a good top tier Premier Division team with loads of money, I think. Because right now I've got a good, nice run. I know what's going on in the Spanish league. I know my team. I've got youth that I'm developing, so I'm not really in a rush to leave. So it's going well. And also, for you that stay for this long, if you could let me know in the comments what was your favourite goal, or what you think was the most ridiculous goal in the comments. That'd be interesting to know. But I think that's all. Come back for next time when I do season 5 roundup.